And now I would like to introduce our next speaker. Mayor Nancy Young moved to Tracy in 2006. She served for 8 years at our Tracy City Council as a member and member pro tem before becoming not only Tracy's first woman to be elected mayor, but also Tracy's first African American mayor. She was reelected in November as mayor. And now it is my pleasure to welcome Mayor Dr. Nancy Diane Young to the stage to deliver our 2023 Tracy State of the City address. Help me in welcoming her.
Maria forgot our cue. We're supposed to hug mix stage, but you know. Thank you. It gives me great pleasure to speak to you today, and thank you so much, Maria, to the entire Chamber of Commerce for our continued partnership. It's very, very important to the city of Tracy that our partnership remains strong and grows stronger every day. I do want to start with thank you to all of you for being here as well. I really appreciate all of you for being here in attendance to hear the state of the city. And as we just got a lot of information from Dr. Pogue, I'm sure that you have a lot of food for thought for what's going on in our region, in our community. So now, I want to start with a quote. The theme for today is building community block by block. The quote I have is an old proverb, and it says, "A wise woman builds her house, but with her own hands, a foolish woman tears hers down." And we want to be wise today. We want to be a wise city. We want to take time to build block by block. Before I forget, because I may, as I'm trying to rush through as we're kind of running behind on time, I want to thank Carissa and I want to thank Vanessa for all of their diligent work putting this together year after year. Really appreciate them. So let's give them a hand at this time. I want to also give a special thanks to my husband, James Young, in the audience, and my grandson, Little B, is here today as well, always there to help keep me balanced, to keep me focused, and I truly appreciate my family and my friends who are always there to support, and my fellow comrades as well. I want to consider a famous story that I'm sure all of us have heard at some point in time in our life. And that's the story of the 3 little pigs, right? So the 3 little pigs, they went on a journey as they grew up. And their mom gave them instructions to go, to make sure that you secure a home for yourself. The first little pig, he decided to build his house out of straw. So it was easy and it was quick. And he just threw the house up with straw. The second little pig said, well, I'm going to take a little bit more time and use a little bit more heavy, durable than hay, and he chose to use sticks to build his house. But the third little pig took time to craft his house and build it brick by brick. But all along, there was this little wolf, right? This big, bad wolf looking out because he liked to eat little pigs. So we're going to do the PG story. We're not going to let any of the pigs die today. But when he came to the house made of hay, of straw, he knocked on the door, let me in, let me in. And what did the pig say? Not by the hairs of my chinny chin chin. And so then the big bad wolf said, then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. And so he huffed and he puffed and he blew his house in. So the nice story, he ran to his little brother's house, right? So, okay, he went to the one made out of sticks. So the one made out of sticks, he came to his house eventually, right? Knocked on the door. Hey, little pigs, let me in. Little pigs, not by the hairs of my chinny chin chin. Big bad wolf, then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. So he huffed and he puffed. Then he had to huff and puff a little bit more, but then he blew the house in. So then eventually he made his way over to the house. So these two ran and got to their little brother's house, the other brother's house, who made it out of bricks. And then he came and knocked on that door. Let me in, let me in. Not by the hairs of our chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff and I'll puff. Well, you go ahead and you do that. So then he huffed and he puffed and he kept huffing and puffing, but he could not blow the house down. Why? Because it was built strong. It was built strong block by block. But then, after a while, it's like, but I still need to get in that house. So is there a crevice? Is there a weakness that I can get in? And so he saw the chimney. So I think I'll go ahead and climb. And I'll go up through the chimney to get into the house. But the pig was smart, was wise. And he took a cauldron and filled it with water and put it on the fire. So when the wolf came down, he got boiled and he had to, right, okay, he's not gonna die. Okay, he fly out the chimney and then he run away. And he leave the pigs alone, right? Because they took time to build. The thing is that as much as we build, as much as we do, there's always gonna be a big bad wolf, right? Now we can pretend the big bad wolf doesn't exist. We can close our eyes and pretend and we can get eaten alive. Or we can face it. Last year, we were talking about recovery from the pandemic, the big bad wolf of the pandemic, right? And we talked about all the success stories of what happened and how we have made it through stronger together. So now, this year, we're talking about building block by block. Now, of course, I have a whole speech here, and then, of course, at 2 in the morning in the shower, you get like new words, right? So as I'm thinking, even about this story, and what does our community really care about? What does our business really care about? They care about the big bad wolves coming to mess up their businesses, right? You care about the big bad wolves, whether it's inflation, whether it's lack of affordability, whether it's just issues, whatever it is. We have to be able to identify what big bad wolf is stalking Tracy, and what can we do to fortify our city. We must build on purpose. So the past year, we have really worked on fortifying our foundation for a stronger city. And if you've ever watched anybody build a building, the higher it is, the deeper they go. You don't always see it because a lot of things are happening underground, but the work is still going on. So in the past year, now our former city manager, Michael Rogers, understood the mission, the vision, and began the reorganization that needed to be done to not only attract the talent and resources needed for the innovation and future prosperity of Tracy, he realigned departments so that there was clear accountability of ownership. Because when you want to get something done in your community, you just want things to go through, right? So when our community asked about homeless shelter, what are we going to do about homelessness? We need you to address homelessness. So what happened? There was a new department created. When we didn't have, previous to 2022, when we did not have anyone focused specifically on grant writing, now we have people focused on grant writing. Now we have Virginia Carney, who was brought in to focus on homelessness, and a temporary shelter has opened as of November of last year, and we're still building going forward. Now, to further expand the vision and plan to include mobility through development, the Housing and Mobility Department was created. And as the beginning of this year, we have a new person to lead that, and her name is Adriana Castaneda. It's really hard to say the Castaneda. I took 3 years of Spanish, but my tongue's not doing it right. But thank you for her service as she's come to help lead this, including economic development, because we want more retail, right? We're going to be talking about retail in just a little bit. We're building. So when you asked about roads, everybody talks about roads. When I was in Washington, D.C., they were talking about roads, and right, because everybody, and potholes, roads and potholes. And we want that, right? And we've been talking about that. We've been talking about being very transparent so our community can understand what the plan is for that. Well, we just recently had a workshop to discuss the pavement management plan here in Tracy. And then now soon, as soon as the council finish approving the final touches to it, it will go up online. We finally have the technology to be able to have it online where everybody can log in and see where we are in that plan. Bessie Road, people's been talking about Bessie Road for years. Yes, Bessie Road is the top on that list. That will be done. And so make sure that you stay tuned for that. When we're looking at, okay, let me make sure I'm going to all my lists here. Like I said, these are new lists, so then I'll get back to my book over there. When we talk about wastewater fees, I know it's a touchy subject. And we talk about it in relation to residents, as all of us, many of us live here in the city of Tracy, but it also affects our businesses. Why? Because wastewater is important, right? If the water systems go down, then many of your businesses would come to a halt. So it's very important that we are being responsible and that we are maintaining the wastewater and all the other utilities that we have within the city of Tracy. But how are we doing that most effectively? We have a new talent that has been brought in last year, Mr. James Jackson. He has now come to be over our utilities department, operations and utilities. This is all a part of foundations. Many times you don't see, again, like I said, the foundation being laid, as is the case with our city. However, thanks to the forward thinking and planning, we are in a great place to build. So let us continue. In order to build, it takes all of us. Everyone plays a vital role in forming the foundation of our hometown. It takes individuals, it takes businesses, employees, and visitors. Building a strong community involves fostering inclusivity, encouraging civic participation, and promoting a sense of belonging among all individuals. In 2020, the council unanimously adopted the Tracy Equity and Empowerment Initiative. This council action was an important building block, setting the foundation for a more equitable and inclusive Tracy. I look forward to future discussions on that soon. Secondly, businesses. Our local businesses are an integral part of the Tracy community. They provide goods and services, create job opportunities, and contribute to our economic growth. Building community block by block involves supporting and promoting local businesses, encouraging entrepreneurship, and fostering a thriving business environment that benefits both our economy and our residents. For employees, those who work in Tracy also play a significant role in shaping our community. They bring their skills, talents, and expertise here, contributing to our growth and development. Building community block by block means recognizing the value of those who work here in Tracy and providing them with a positive work environment, fair compensation, and opportunities for personal and professional growth. Visitors, even those who travel through here, visitors contribute to our local economy and can bring a fresh perspective and ideas to the community. Building block by block involves welcoming our visitors, providing them with a positive experience, even at City Hall, good customer service, and promoting all that Tracy has to offer. It takes all of us to create meaningful change. As we continue to build, we must regularly review our progress and strategize for our future. Our current City Council was inaugurated 169 days ago, and we worked together to develop our 2023 strategic priorities. These are our collective goals and objectives to accomplish our vision for Tracy. There are foundational blocks to strengthen what is already in place and continue our progress forward. We look forward to a formal adoption of these next month. Now, first things first, we simply cannot have a conversation about economic development or new businesses in the city of Tracy without this name coming up.
Keep watching if you're
This name coming up. Even last Sunday at church, we had a visitor and she was like, when are we gonna have Trader Joe's here in Tracy? So this was the #1 retailer requested when we surveyed our community in 2019, and it continues to be true today. And based on what we have seen and heard, probably still is. We get it, and we love them too. So while we continue to do what we can do to bring Tracy locations to their attention, that they may be interested in us, I need you to do your part. So now you talk to us, but you can talk to them. Guess what? You can get your phones out real quick. You can up your camera app. And use your camera to scan this QR code. Open the website on your browser and bookmark it so you can go back to it later. They need to hear from you. You need to let them know. We understand their business model is not to have a Trader Joe's on every corner. That's just not their business model. But if we want it here in Tracy, then we need to put pressure on them, and you can do that by doing your part. All right, now retail continues to be very strong here in Tracy, not just with consumer sales, but with business-to-business sales and the industrial parks too. These are some of the building blocks that have either added new locations or new to our community here. BJ's is one of the #1 requested, and aren't you happy? They are going to be opening up right by the mall very soon. So we're excited to have BJ's here. We actually have Crumble here, and even though I saw them on the table spread out at the police swearing in, I didn't get to have one of those, but fortunately I can just walk in the store and get one myself. Also in the top right corner, we have SK Hero Vineyards. They are an honorable mention because they are technically in the county. They're on Lenny Road, but they're still close enough for us to utilize, and we can enjoy their tasting rooms and event venue in case you did not know that they're here. Now, speaking of bringing more customers to our community, we were recently awarded a second tourism grant, this time in the amount of $99,000 from the county to continue our Discover Tracy campaign. So thank you to Chair Rickman and our Board of Supervisors. We appreciate the support here in Tracy. The Discover Tracy campaign, in conjunction with the Tracy City Center Association and Tracy Chamber of Commerce, aims to bring more visitors to Tracy who may be coming to the area for business or leisure by highlighting our vibrant downtown, our Tracy, the Center for the Arts here, the Grand, and our different scenes that we have, the emerging beer, wine, and spirit scene, our recreational, and our wonderful, fabulous Tracy dining scene, and a lot of variety of hotels that are opening up. I want to also just take a moment to highlight the market on 6th Street. Now, last year, when you may remember when we did State of the City, we had a whole video about town and country. But not only were they successful to be able to use the Business Relief Grant Program, and they were successful in staying open, they actually opened a second location right here on Market and 6th, just a few blocks away. They were featured on Good Day Sacramento on their opening day. These are exactly the success stories and small business growth that we want to see here in our city, right? So congratulations to them. And we're hoping for more expansions for other businesses as well. Now, we as a council took action last year to place Measure B on the ballot, and it was passed in November of last year. And this was to modernize and simplify our 39-year-old business tax ordinance to ensure small, locally owned businesses no longer pay a much higher effective tax rate compared to larger businesses. So this new tax rate will go into effect July 1st, so just about a month from now, July 1st of this year. And about 80% of Tracy businesses will benefit from a lower tax. And business reporting gross receipts that's over $500,000 will be taxed based on a rate of somewhere between 0.1% and 0.3%. The change overall is a win-win for the city, for our small businesses, as it will result in revenue increase next fiscal year that can invest right back into our community. Now, the city also expects to see an increase in revenues to its TOT, or our transit occupancy tax, or hotel tax, in the amount of about $500,000 next year, thanks to the hotels in planning or in construction phases going on right now. So, another thing we asked for, and we've heard it for many years, we need more jobs, right? So we asked for more jobs, particularly head of household jobs, and even attracted technology companies to our community. 10,000 jobs have been added to our community over the past decade, and we continue to grow. And just in the last couple of years, it was about 4,000 of those jobs have been added to our city. The influence we wield over our future as a community and our ability to continue building block by block lies in our ability to invest in our youth and provide necessary tools for upskilling the workforce development here in the city of Tracy. And I'm glad to say that just shortly we will have our second cohort of young people, high school students, doing their internships at the city of Tracy. So the city of Tracy continues to invest in transportation connectivity, transferring 200 acres of land to Valley Valley Link Rail in October of 2022, unlocking the opportunity for Valley Link systems to operate on its own self-produced green hydrogen. The first phase of the Valley Link project, 22 miles, goes from the Dublin-Pleasanton-BART station to the I-205 Mountain House Interchange station and includes an operational maintenance facilities and support site located right here in Tracy. The second phase of the Valley Link project, 20 miles in San Joaquin County, goes from the I-205 Mountain House station to the North Lathrop station located at the Sharpie Army Depot. Valley Link is seeking funding from San Joaquin to update the environmental document for the state environmental process. And to be able to begin the environmental process for NEPA. Now, it's important, lastly, to note on that during the environmental studies for the second phase, there will be an opportunity for the City of Tracy to provide input on the locations as seen in the attached map. When you have a moment after here, you can also sign up on their website to get the latest news, publications, and meeting notifications. And so that address is valleylinkrail.com. So if you want to be updated on all that's going on, feel free to do that so you can get it firsthand for yourself. Now, we look forward to adopting an economic development strategic plan this summer to provide the city a roadmap for future economic growth by defining the economic visions, strategic actions, and best practices to achieve continued community prosperity, fiscal growth, and industry diversification, while considering the city's demographic needs, capitalizing strategically in the opportunities as the city plans for future growth. Now, let's talk about the city's current financial position. Despite the restrictive economic conditions brought on by the pandemic, high inflation, and market shortages, the city general fund is expected to have an annual surplus of almost $20 million for the next 3 years, due to a change in tax reporting by a predominant e-commerce business located in Tracy. This reporting change shifted the sales tax allocation directly to Tracy as the point of sale location, and nearly doubled the prior year sales tax revenue for the city. This revenue, however, is not guaranteed, and it is under attack for future years, as there's a significant interest to having e-commerce dollars reallocated to other jurisdictions. It's a whole nother fight, but that's being fought at the state level, and Cal Cities is involved. And fortunately, you have your mayor who sits on that board who will continue to fight for our city and our revenues. The focus of this year's budget was how to best restore key services to the community following the impacts of the global pandemic, and how to initiate new core service, build organizational capacity, be adaptive to community needs, and support our strategic priorities. So the fiscal year 2023-2024, the proposed budget will build on the growth and innovation stemming from the reorganization that occurred earlier this year. Tracy is anticipated to have a population of over 100,000 people in the next few years and over 130,000 people by 2030. This growth will put new demands on the infrastructure and resources needed to maintain our quality of life. So again, we need to build smartly and wisely. So we championed Measure V. Moving on to Measure V, funding priorities. You see the priorities listed up there. It's a 0.5% sales tax measure that will sunset in 2037. Now, over the past 5 years, the City Council has adopted resolutions that prioritize the funding of these several amenities, including now complete Lolly Hansen Center and the other ones that you see on our list. We do have a special presentation here to just show you from Legacy Fields 1E, Phase 1E, in the final sub-phase of Phase 1. It includes paving parking lots, slurry seals, existing asphalt, alternative exit south of the complex.
If you stop driving at night,
This is part of your money at work for you, Measure V. And so there's so much progress, as you can see. I'm sure you're going to miss those rocks flying up as you drive through, but paved roads now. And so there's so much progress, but there's still more to do. We're targeting completion of this phase by this summer. And so now, I want to just take a moment to share with you the conceptual drawing and plans for the multi-generational recreation center at El Pescadero Park improvements. So this is not a video, but we're just looking at some of the the renderings for it. As you can see, all those wonderful renderings of what this recreation center will look like and how El Pescadero Park is being completely transformed. And so while people were complaining about homelessness, it was connected also to this park as well. And so you can see we've taken action, and these are the things that in the plan, and we're targeting March 2026 for completion of this project. So now we can take a look at development in South Tracy. We'll go ahead and start with Tracy Hills. This is about building smartly, wisely. And now we have another location, a couple other locations here. Regency at Tracy Lakes is located at Coral Hollow and Valpico Road. Its construction is underway now for this gated 55 and over active adult master plan new home community of 600 single-story homes with lakes, a recreation center, dog park, swimming pool, and walking path. And it's expected to open this summer. So I'm sure you've seen all the work that's going on down there. It's wonderful. I remember when we first started talking about this years ago, I'm like, wow, 55 is a ways off. Do you know 55 for me is next year? I'm like, I'm almost, by the time they open it, I can actually move into one of those. So it's going to be beautiful. Other than that, we also have Vela Apartments, formerly known as Glenbriar Valpico. It's a 265-unit apartment project on the north side of Valpico Road, west of MacArthur Boulevard. It's the first deed-restricted moderate-income project in 20 years. I was there for the grand opening. It's beautiful. It was like mini resort living there, too, and to have deed-restricted also for some affordable housing available. Now, let's take a look at another video that we have for Ellis.
At the Surland Companies, we take pride in the quality of life we create through thoughtful design and placemaking. We craft award-winning commercial and residential developments and are committed to neighborhood planning and innovation. For over 25 years, Surland has been recognized for its unique projects, including the national award-winning Red Bridge neighborhood, the architectural designs of both Tracy City Hall and the Tracy City Transit Center, and our newest master-planned community, Ellis. No matter what we design, our #1 priority is to create a better experience and a better place to live. We're proud to help shape the next generation of communities in the Greater Bay Area, especially at Ellis, where small-town living and close-knit neighbors create the perfect atmosphere for our distinctive homes. This community is a classic jewel built on the proud heritage of the city of Tracy, with a rich history that dates back to 1869. The Ellis community represents the culmination of efforts to transform this historic area into a creative, vibrant, and desirable place to live. A sought-after destination for all ages and lifestyles, with a feeling of energy and activity and a sense of community. Our reputable, thoughtfully chosen home builders design innovative floor plans and living spaces with a variety of one-of-a-kind architectural styles. Our neighborhood design incorporates homes with alley-facing garages, creating more space for inviting front porches that draw your neighbors in to say hello, as well as room for multi-use pathways that connect you to points of interest throughout the community. The Central Village Green Park is dedicated to community gatherings and exciting outdoor events held throughout the year, including music in the park, movies in the park, holiday festivals, and other fun family events, all hosted by the Ellis Social Committee. And the excitement continues beyond Ellis with shopping and dining just minutes away in historic downtown Tracy. Several amenities are on the horizon at Ellis, including a village center that will feature a coffee shop and convenience services, the planned Western Park, giving you more spaces to roam and play, with an activity zone that will offer pickleball courts, cornhole, and other exciting recreational activities, plus a neighborhood K-8 school, future aquatic center, and a dog park. We're proud of Ellis, and we know you'll be proud to call Ellis home.
No one seems to know this, but
Thank you. Another great example of building wisely and beautifully. Our pursuit of progress, though, that we have made and we continue to make is not without challenges. We set out to expand housing availability of all types, making Tracy an affordable place to live. Affordable housing, though, became a city council priority in 2015, as we see that the affordability is kind of changing and it feels fleeting at moments. We are currently updating the general plan housing element, which includes actions that the city is planning to address regarding current and projected housing needs over the next 8 years. The city needs input from you about your housing needs, as well as issues and concerns you may have regarding housing in Tracy. Your input is needed to update current housing goals, policies, and objectives, and to prioritize housing funds and programs over the next several years. So here's another action item for you. Please complete the survey by scanning the QR code on the screen and join us for our third workshop this Saturday at 11 a.m. to learn more. All survey responses are anonymous, and results from the survey will be presented in aggregate. Now, we're coming to the end here of our program today. But in building, we want to make sure that we're building responsibly. So as a part of our commitment to supporting climate initiatives to reduce Tracy's carbon footprint and preserve its natural resources, we recently established an environmental sustainability committee. It was asked for years, and finally we have it. It's a 7-person committee, and we have made room for 2 high school students to be a part of this committee. We are thinking forward in educating our community and upskilling our workforce. And so in here, we have not, I'm not sure when is the deadline on there. I want to make sure. The deadline is June the 5th. You have 5 days after today. If you are interested in being on that, or if you have a young person that you know who really just want to learn and be a part of environmental issues and just have an input for that, please apply to be a part of that. So in conclusion, I want to share one more story. One of my favorite stories I heard when I was in elementary school, and there's different versions of it. It's an Old English folklore, and it's called Stone Soup. I don't know how many of you ever heard that story, but it was really important to me in my formidable years to understand the importance of sharing and being able to connect with other people. So in the story of Stone Soup, there's a lot of different versions that I went to read to remember all the little details of it, too many things, so I'm going to summarize it. There's a traveler that came to town, and he went to an old little area, a little town, and everybody was shut up in their own houses. Nobody really communicated with each other, and he knocked on one of the doors, and one of the ladies there was like, nope, I don't have anything. I don't know. I don't have anything for you to eat. I can't help you or whatever. He said, well, how about if I make you some stone soup? Stone soup, is that really real? Yes, stone soup. We can have some stone soup. So just put it in a pot, and he went and got a clean stone and cleaned it off, put it in the pot. And so she had her windows open and everything start to, boil. She's like, I don't really see anything. It's like, oh yes, it's going to be really, really good, But it could use a few herbs. Anybody ever cook soup or anything? You put your onions and all your stuff in first. It'd be smelling really good. Don't have nothing else in there, but it just starts smelling good, right? So putting the onions in there, put the little herbs and everything. And so people start opening doors like, what is going on over there? And so they start coming, look, what's going on? Said, we're making stone soup. Oh, I never heard of stone soup. He said, yes, it's really, really good. He said, but, it could always use, a few more things. You have something? Oh, yeah, I got a few potatoes. Let me go get some potatoes and, come and put some potatoes in there. And then it went on, and others started to hear and started to smell and hearing people chattering and talking because they hadn't been communicating with each other. And someone else said, well, I have some turnips, and I could add that. And so they throw the turnips in there. And somebody else said, well, I got a few pieces of chicken. I can just throw that in there, and then they throw that in there. And someone else said, what you making? Stone soups. I never heard of stone soup. Yeah, it's going to be really good. It's tasty. So it smelled good. But we could use a little bit of something else. You got something else? Well, yeah, I got some beans I could throw in here. And then they just started putting everything in. And then after a while, it was this big pot full of a delicious stone soup. And then they shared it with everyone. And they got people talking to one another, and people communicating with one another, and people sharing with one another. And so I share that story to you today because a lot of us, we have our own little blocks that we can build from. Your block don't have to be my block. My block don't have to be your block. If you was at church, you say, your testimony, not my testimony not your testimony. But what you have to give matters. Every piece matters to make the soup the best, to make our community the best. You can bring your block. And so today, I want to honor, this is something different, but because of my time, this is what I'm doing. I want to honor two businesses that I really feel are exemplifying the block by block building community. Many of you in here have participated in many events over the years, so it's not to disintegrate or to lessen anything that you've contributed. I truly, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate everything that each and every one of you contribute to our community.
Support our local schools,
Well, let's look at this
food
video
banks,
here.
and more. All because we're committed to creating spaces and places where communities can thrive, breaking new ground to bridge the world. Prologis, ahead of what's next.
The instant relief for snoring at home.
Hey, stop using these.
So, if you didn't already know, that was a video about Prologis. If you're following them on LinkedIn, as I do, as I follow many of you on LinkedIn as well. But lately I've been seeing a lot of the things that they're doing in the community, the things that they're doing at McHenry House, the job fairs that they're having, not because they need employees, but others in our community need employees. So this just says Block by Block Award. 2023 State of the City Building Community Block by Block presented to Prologis for embodying the true essence of being a building block for investment and contributions in service of the city of Tracy's community. Given this day, 31st day of May 2023. Thank you so much. I'm just gonna just shake all your hands. Thank you. You can hold it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. So we can pause in case, I don't know, you hold it. I'm sure at least one person got a camera out there. We can just look straight, so at least our eyes go in the same direction. Thank you. And so this right here is another special award. This is the last one. And it accompanies something even more special. And this is the third key to the city that I'm giving out since I've become mayor. And these are two people that, it's a small business that's here in our community. It's dark out there, so I'm not sure if they're here, but I really hope so, that they're at least still here, at least one. And this is an important building block that all of us need in our lives. And this is a block of laughter and positivity. The countless smiles cannot be quantified in any way, shape, or form. But this is presented to Zany Entertainment. And I do see Terry in the audience. I knew she was coming because I asked her the other day. I didn't know if Dennis Martinez would be here, but I would like for Miss Terry Donaldson, and known as Sparkles, to come. They have been here for many years. I actually have a whole thing written about them that I was going to say, but I'll just tell you, as we lead off the different parades, they are always right out front. She's riding her bike. They're riding their bikes. They're just always so positive and always have a positive word to say, a positive word of encouragement. No matter where you are, no matter the political differences, they are always kind to everyone. So, here's my key right here. Thank you. So for you, that's why I wanted to make sure even when I saw you on Monday that you would be here today, and I figured Dennis wouldn't be, but then I didn't want to let the cat out of the bag asking too many questions, so I just figured you can share. And so, see, don't they look so happy? They're just always so joyful. So it gives me great pleasure. Let's go a little bit over more. We're shorter than the screen, right? Okay. This is a Key to the City, 2023 State of the City, Building Community Block by Block, presented to Zany Entertainment for building community, laugh by laugh. Thank you so much, Terry. We really appreciate you, and we love you for what you did. Thank you. Okay. I don't know if you want to say something, you can go over to the mic.
I would like to say something. I got tears when you called me. That's not laughter. I recognize during COVID, everything changed because we were locked out. We have so many mental health issues right now because we couldn't be with each other. And the sense of community that was missing because people were not allowed to go to church, not allowed to go to the movie theater, not allowed to gather over the barbecue, to be with your neighbors. And I think if you can go out and, like the stone soup story, reach out to your neighbors. And I did address the city council last Tuesday. Remember kindness. Love each other. We have struggles in this city, but boy, we need laughter. We need to spread love. And you've just spread love to me and Dennis Ravioli, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
So this brings us to the end of our presentation today. Thank you again for all of you who came today. Thank you to all the sponsors who made this possible. Thank you for all the behind-the-scene workers. Thank you for every staff from top to bottom, and all in and through, all of you for being here today. And so with that, I just want to make sure that you are doing your part to build our city. We can do it block by block. Thank you.